Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and this is Thursday, October the 25th. I'm doing the chart lesson a little bit early today. It's just a little bit before 3 o'clock. Prices have kind of gotten caught in this range, and they really got really choppy right down in this area. So I just decided to go ahead and call it a day. It's too late to be entering any trades. So I'm going to go ahead and do the chart lesson, show you what I saw. And there really weren't a lot of entries today, but the first couple of entries of the day were just really strong entries. So should have made some money today. Should have had a couple of chances to make. Of course, if you missed them, you didn't get a second chance to enter on these two really good trades right down through here. But this is what I saw, and we'll go over each of the trades and then we'll go from there. I really thought we'd get a better retest than this right here, but what this is really starting to look like is more of a trading range day. The range was really set during the overnight, and we broke below that temporarily during the day, touched the 1400, and I think that's really why we bounced out of here. You probably heard, if you've listened to many of my videos, you've heard me talk about it before, but these century marks in the ES are really important. And they'll get tested on both sides multiple times. When you're going into a century mark, it takes a while to get through it, and you can see this did fail out here. And when you're coming down to test a century mark, it takes a little work to get through it as well. So I'm thinking that's why we bounced out of there. And we may come test this low before it's over. You see we had this little channel here. We broke it. We tested that with a new high, and now we seem to be selling off, and now we may come on down. We don't have much time left, so I doubt we're going to get down here, but I've seen it happen. So we may come on down here and retest this low before it's over. So, but let's talk about each of the trades. I'll show you what I saw, and we can go from there and see what each of you guys saw. And really, I was just kind of looking at that trend there. This should have been probably right up through there, and then we had the break, and then we moved up to a new high. But really, the way I saw this, when the market opened today, we were in a trading range, and we'd just broken above it right at the 830. So this was a nice little short, open for a snapback, and it did. It came back and it bounced right off the EMA. So no runners off this one. Unfortunately, that really makes me mad that I didn't get a runner off this, because the last few days when we've made a major high or low, we definitely got a nice chance to get some runners, and but no runners off of this one. And there really wasn't a real good setup to drop a limit order in here either, so you had to go short below this red bar here, and unfortunately no runners off this trade, just enough to get your scalp, and that was it. And then prices pulled back, but they did go on down, and it was a little too risky to be entering in here, so I didn't mark any other entries there. I didn't take any more of them myself. But right here was a great setup. We got this double top. We had the little double two-bar matching highs there with a couple little stems. I actually dropped a limit order right there and got short right there, and this worked out perfect. And let me show you how I found this, what I thought was the trend line here. And I drew this line off these first two swings, and you can see that turned out to be it. And then I just copied it. You can see that's a copy of that line, and I drug it up to here first, and so I thought at first we had a trend line break, and so I still was looking for prices to make a new low, but then I drug it over here later, and it seemed to fit even better. So I believe that was your channel right there. And so, but anyway, even if you didn't have this, you should have had, you got your double top here, like so. And a lot of times it helps to draw these lines and put them in there, and you can see we got that little double top, and really it was a broader double top right across there. And so it's two tests of that high right there that failed. So you had that reason right there to go short. And what I liked was we had this bearish bar. Let me make it a little bigger so maybe it's a little easier to see. and we ticked above it first, and so I had a limit order there, and then we turned down. But you could have gone short right there, and either way, your runners would have been safe on this trade, and you could have ridden this all the way down here and gotten all, most of this move. Obviously the logical place to think about maybe exiting was a measured leg down, or, um, on these lows right here from yesterday. And you can see we bounced right there first, and we did break through, but it was all uphill and has been all uphill. Well, we're coming on down pretty quick there. We may make a new low before the market closes today. We'll look at that right before we finish it up and see if we manage to do that. But that was the trade of the day right there, because it was an easy setup, and we had one leg down right here already. Even if you were looking for a measured leg, which I looked at that, you're looking at right in here, and then another measured leg was get you right down here to the basically the lows of yesterday, which should have been a target. And you can see we hung around down here for a long time until we finally had a failed break lower right here and trapped everybody. And we'll talk about those setups in a minute. There was actually a long right here, and I didn't mark that one. I actually even took that trade, so we'll mark that one too. And I'll tell you why. We'll talk about that when we get to it. But then you got another chance to get short right here. You had to pull back to a suspected possible trend line. But the main thing is you got to pull back to the EMA. And we started overlapping, and then you got these two. And so, again, I went short right there with a limit order on that little double top. It ticked up and turned down instantly. But let me show you here. There's a couple of things you want to look at here. Let me get this line out of the way. Could have gone short right here on this inside bar because it's a second entry short. But really, once you made this little doji and you ticked above that and then turned down, that was really the ideal place to go short. But either one was good, unless you did like me and entered with a limit order there. But either one of those was good, and your runners would have been safe off either one of them, and you could have ridden this thing all the way down again. And again, your target should have been somewhere down here around these lows if you're just looking to exit blindly, which is how I exited it. I exited one tick above those last closes right in there. And notice I missed another point or two right there, but you can't always, you can't get it all. So just get yourself a good target. That's a good, 6 or 7 points right there, easy money. And really, I should have made this one green. Let's change this one, because this trade, when it on a day like today, when it's trending down like that, it's dangerous to go long. But the reason I like that trade is because this is where the lows were, and you notice we bounced there first, and then so that's a break, and there's a lot of room in there, and you got a lot of overlap. And again, you had a chance to drop a limit order right there, but if you didn't, you had to go long right here. And, knowing that we're probably going to snap back or try to snap back and test this breakout area again, or probably even the EMA. But really, if you had the trend channel line, you got to be thinking we're going all the way up. And I really thought we'd probably come all the way up to here, but we could not get back above that high. We really struggled. We just kind of got hung in that area right there between these highs and those highs right there. We got hung in there. And somebody actually sent me an email asking about that, what I thought about that, and what's happening there is it's just kind of an equilibrium area. The bears are, that's what I call acceptance of the prices in there. When you get rejection, this looks like rejection right here. Look how prices broke up there and then instantly sold off quickly. Obviously, a lot of people have recognized that little trading range, and they're using range trading rules, and you see how quickly they brought it all the way down, and now they bought it down on the other side. But man, they brought that down there quick and strongly. It usually takes a little more work than that. But this is acceptance of prices at this down here, so it's not rejection. Rejection looks more like this coming out of there. except it keeps going like that right there. This is actually rejection right here. This is a nice rejection move off of these lows right here. And let me show you this. Let's just drop our little line down there a little further. Excuse me. And you can see those were the lows, and we tested it once, twice, and then we finally came down a third time to test it, and we broke one tick lower and instantly failed and came up and closed on the high. You could have gone long right there, but it was better to wait, because normally what will happen is they'll come back and test that same low again, and it'll hold to the tick. Sometimes you'll get left behind, but usually they'll come back, and they did that here, so it's better. This is like a second entry long now, going long right there. And you can see what happened. It rocketed out of there and rocketed all the way to the highs. And you could have had an idea where to look for these highs by drawing your lines up through here. And then as it's climbing, you copy that line and you drag it up. And look at there. It works perfect. And that's, you know, we got the overshoot by, and you can see there's just stems up there. So it lets you know you really got it. You probably got it in the right place. And so this was a nice long right here. And then you don't want to be short in this, because now it looks like we found the bottom. So again, you got a similar setup to right here, just on a bigger. Notice all those lows right there, and then we finally broke lower. But you've also got the trend line right here helping you. So going long right there was a pretty good trade. And you can see that was some overlap right there, and we broke out and we pulled back and tested it and then went higher. But really on this one, because you've got support right there, you don't, you know, it's probably okay. You're getting in close enough to the lows that it's probably safe to get in there, thinking that, hey, we'll at least probably come up here and test these highs, and we may go up here and all the way to the upper side of the channel again. But that didn't happen. We made a new high, and we pulled back, and we finally broke the trend line. And this was our move up, and it tested the new high. It broke above the other high, and so there was really a short here, but it was too late in the day. I mean, it was after 3 o'clock really before that triggered. So, and then this is just another chance to get long right here. This one's more suspect, but this was the first real break of the channel. It's another new low in what's a range. So it was worth going long right there, and I think it got just enough. Let me look at it. I think it got just enough to scalp out. Your entry would have been 0550, and it went to 0675. So you're just enough to get out, and then it pulled back again. And then definitely wasn't worth entering in all this. It's too dangerous. You notice every time it broke above or below a bar, it snapped the other direction, and it kind of. But it's kind of working up, which is not surprising, because you figure we're going to retest this high, and we did that. I got interrupted there for probably over an hour, so I'm not even sure. I think we talked about the last trade here, and then we went into this junk here and just kind of chopped around to the close. And notice we talked about the retest. You know, here's your down channel, and we broke it, and we finally got the retest. We came down here, made a new low, and look, we've already bounced out of there. So it's pretty interesting. But that's in the overnight, and the, you know, and the volume. There's not a lot of volume, and there's, you know, so what happens is, you know, the market can move and have these big bars because they're just not, you know, the volume is just not there, and it's easy to move the market, a lot easier to move the market, and that's why you see stuff like that. But we did get the retest, and you can see we bounced right out of there. I had this mark down here, so somewhere across there, there's some support right in there, and we bounced right off of it. So, but anyway, hope you had a good trading day. And you can see this was the opening trend line. We broke it, came back, trended down all day till, or actually all morning, most of the morning, and then most of the afternoon. We really spent a lot of the day in this tight range here, and even closed in, you know, pretty much at the high of that range. So But there were some nice moves here. Hopefully you made some money today. I'm going to wrap it up. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.